know. But Huey first flew P-47s in World War II, where he shot down an ME-262. He shot down a Narada 234, an ME-109, and then he had a number of kills on the ground also. And so he became an ace and had amazing experiences while he was over there, in addition to surviving, which is very difficult, as everyone knows. He also crashed into the North Sea and survived that in a Mustang. That's why this is Etta Jeanne 2 and not Etta Jeanne 1. And so he can relate all those stories, but first I just wanted to introduce him and let him tell a little bit about his experiences, but also I would like him to tell us a little bit about the initials that he has on his kills there as he tells us about the plane, and then we'll open it up for questions for everybody. But thank you all for coming.
This is quite an honor, and I'm glad that everyone was able to make it here. I appreciate it very much. And in regard to when I was training, I was wanting to be a fighter pilot, and there was a guy named Richard Bond. I guess you probably all heard of him. He's honored, got the honored Medal of Honor, and he also shot down 40 Japanese airplanes. Well, he visited our air base there at Eagle Pass where we were flying AT-6s, and they asked me what you wanted to be. I said I'd like to be a fighter pilot and fly twin engines, P-38s. So when the orders came out, I wanted to be a fighter pilot, and they put me in bomber training, and my instructor, Fred Webster, had recommended that I become a fighter pilot. So I was very upset about it. He said, let's see what I can do about it. So he made an appointment to talk with our base commander, and he went in there, and Fred was in regular Army, so he could retire and resign his commission if he wanted to. And he told Colonel Bundy, said, if you don't change and put him in as a fighter pilot, as I recommended, I'm going to resign my commission. Well, the next day my orders came out to be a fighter pilot. So that was when I left for my training in P-47s. Fred said, get one for me. So I did get a 109, and I initialed that swastika, his initials, F-L-W. That's how that came about. The next swastika was a buddy of mine that was the first personal friend that I knew that was killed in combat. And so I initialed it Bill Lacey. And then the next initial up here I had, was my roommate, and he was also killed in a dogfight. And this or that, those were personal friends that I trained with, and that's the reason I initialed those. Probably no one else that I know of ever did that, but that's why that happened. In regard to my comment, Robert said, yeah, Troy Eggleston was the last one. Anyway, what was I going to say? Okay, I want to make something clear. Robert says I'm an ace. Actually, you have to have 5 aerial kills to be an ace. I had 2.5. I shared on a German jet, and then I got ME-109 jet and a ME-109. But the other 3 were on the ground, and that particular day we got 158 kills on the ground, and I believe it was almost 90 damaged. So that was a record, and that was towards the end of the war. But we did lose 3 pilots that day, which to me, the war was near the end, so it wasn't really, in my opinion, worth doing to lose 3 guys. But any questions?
You mentioned this is Etta Jeanne 2, and you lost Etta Jeanne, your first Etta Jeanne, in the sea. Can you tell us maybe a little bit about that story?
Yes, we were flying the P-47s, and we've been mainly doing ground support, and we started doing escort missions, and we couldn't go very far with the bombers, so we were sent over to P-51s because they have a longer range. And I had maybe a couple hours in the P-51 before my first mission in Etta Jeanne first. And my wingman indicated that his radio wasn't working. We were over Belgium about the time he signaled that his radio wasn't working. And so that I told my flight leader, and he said, well, take him back to the base. I said, okay. So we were heading back about 10,000 feet, and I was just enjoying the Mustang. In fact, I think I remember doing some rolls and stuff like that on the way back, and I looked at my temperature, and it was getting hot. And so I knew enough to open the coolant door at the bottom of the 351 that lets air to cool off the radiator, and the temperature got back to normal. Well, I said, okay, then I'll put it back into automatic again, which I should not have done. I should have left it in wide open and come on back, but I didn't know that at the time. And then it got hot again, and this time it caught fire. And I was cranking my canopy, and it was not catching the cogs. It was just spinning like this. That's what happened. This thing happened, but it did. But so I finally got the canopy open, and unbuckled my seat belt and shoulder harness. Was going to bail out. By that time, I was too low to bail out, so I headed into the wind, and when I went just as slow as I could, let my flaps down, and my right wing caught in a cartwheel, and when it stopped, I stood up, and the plane went down like that, and I got out and had a dinghy, and I pulled it, and it inflated. And then I was able to get my May West inflated. And then I had a dinghy I was sitting on. I got it unbuckled and got it inflated, and then I couldn't get into it. So I was just hanging on. Well, all this time, John, my wingman, flew into the shore. It was about 4 miles off the shore at Arford Nest. And he went, about 10 miles inland, and at Marshall Head was an air base there that we saw a flying boat. It's a Walrus, a small single engine plane taxiing. So he landed and went up to the taxi, up to the walrus. He got out, left his engine running. He was afraid he might not be able to start again. And told him that he had a man down, and he said they'd follow him out. So he got back in, and he said that he took off, and he said that little walrus, it took it forever to get off. He didn't think it'd ever get off. Finally, he would fly, make a circle and fly, and finally he landed. He led them back to where I was in the water there, and the walrus landed next to me, and they picked me up and brought me back to their base, and then they revived me. I passed out about, well, I remember seeing them pick me up, and then I passed out, so they saved my life, and that was the walrus's first rescue. And I said, well, that's pretty good. I'm going to give you guys a barrel of beer. So that's what happened there.